From the Dark Knight to the Two Towers to the Empire Strikes Back, everybody loves the dark middle chapter of a trilogy. That's what Maximo vs. Army of Zin would have been in a perfect world. With a great lead character, a cool world to explore, and tons of massive boss fights. This 2003 sequel was destined to go from ghosts to glory. But fate would not be kind to the series, and we would never get the final chapter for this promising trilogy. With Halloween just around the corner, I wanted to dig up this Capcom classic and give it the love that it deserves. So turn back now if you don't want to know what happens next, because today we're going to spoil the story and ending for Maximo vs. Army of Zin on the PlayStation 2. This is Game Over, The Next Generation. When we last checked in with Maximo, he had just teamed up with the Grim Reaper to defeat King Achille, only to discover that the love of his life, Sophia, was plotting her own power grab in order to become the Demon Queen. Things may have worked out great for Grim, but Maximo was heartbroken by the death of his girlfriend and the state of his battered kingdom. But things may not be as bad as they seem for our hero, because the Reaper was quick to remind Maximo that he had just killed a shape-shifting demon, not his loving girlfriend. Sophia is out there somewhere, and Maximo is determined to save her. The sequel picks up with the brave knight on the hunt for the damsel in distress. But before we get to that, the game wants to introduce us to a new character named Morgan Hawkmoor, who heroically defeated evil 500 years ago. Let's go ahead and see how the game introduces this character and how it will forever change Maximo's fate.
Unholy demons! While I live, Castle Hawkmoor will never fall! To victory! Quickly, men! Get the last of them into the vault before they rise again! Sire, we can't hold them off much longer! Seal the vault behind me! But Lord Morgan, you'll be trapped! Seal it now! On this day, I charge the heirs of Hawkmoor to protect this vault with their very lives. It must remain sealed forever.
Your money or your life!
Why don't you say something? Yeah, who do you think you are?
My name is Maximo.
Maximo? The man who walks with death.
What's that?
Help me! Monsters are attacking my village! Please help us!
What the?
Late, Grim.
I always show up in the end. Hey, buddy, it's been a while.
Good to see you too, Grim.
I've scoured the underworld, but Sophia's soul isn't there. Come to think of it, I haven't seen any new arrivals lately.
Then Sophia's alive?
Maybe. I smell a soul. The stone powering this thing is a stolen spirit, captured and compressed. Who would dare do such a thing? You're free now. I have to go find who's doing this.
Right, and I'll go track that girl back to her village.
You must rescue those souls!
I'm on it, Grim.
Here! If If you need me, just use the coin.
Thanks. Are you sure I'll be needing this?
Oh yeah, I guarantee you will.
You know, I kind of love how efficient that cinema is. Not only does it do an excellent job of introducing us to a bunch of new bad guys, but it also works as a reminder of the cool confidence that makes Maximo such a great character. And just as quickly as the thieves show up, so does a local villager who needs our help. Toss in a mechanical creature and the last-second cameo from Grimm, and you have a great setup for what turns out to be a fairly straightforward story. So the local villagers are delighted that Maximo came to help, but I think it's safe to say that the woman totally undersold the severity of the threat. The village is in ruins, and there are fires breaking out everywhere. And just when it seems like things can't get any worse for these innocent people, a mechanical dragon winds up in a house and attacks our hero. It's only after we slay that dragon that an old man suggests that the gear master at the haunted forest might know what's going on. Ooh, it sounds scary, but at least we finally have a lead. Now, you shouldn't be all that surprised when the haunted forest turns out to be, well, haunted. But what you might not realize is that this haunted forest will trap you inside by making everything look like a dead end. To make matters worse, the villagers are no help at all. They'll tell Maximo to go one way, but all that leads us to another unsolvable labyrinth. After surviving the corn maze and platforming path, Maximo feels that he has finally found the Gearmaster. Guys, it's finally time to stop this madman once and for all from unleashing more of these mechanical monsters on the world. But hold on, there's just one small problem with that plan.
Oh, hello. Can I help?
Die, foul creature!
Ow. Stop. Oh, no, not the face. No, not the face.
Hey, you big jerk! What do you think you're doing?
I'm destroying the evil Gear Master.
I'm the Gear Master. And who are you calling evil?
Well, Gear Master, I'm here to stop your, evil army. Say, don't I know you?
What army?
This army.
Crank, pull yourself together.
At once, Mr. Stinker.
What you have here is a Zin Reaper. Very nasty. 500 years ago, these things ran amok and nearly destroyed everything. Morgan of Hawkmoor trapped them in the Great Vault. It cost him his life. They're supposed to be there still. You could check, but I'm sure the current Baron would never open it.
The Baron. Yeah, I know the Baron.
Dear Master Tinker, you have a contract to finish for me.
Lord Bane, but I haven't finished my research.
You have had more than enough time.
Hey, watch the manhandling.
You heard the girl. Hands off. Wait a minute. You know this guy?
I have found your interference with my Zin very displeasing, little man. For that you will suffer. Come, Gearmaster. My transport awaits. Cyclops, destroy Maximo.
Okay, so this sets up an exciting fight against the Cyclops. But forget about this mid-game boss, because the only thing on our hero's mind right now is the Gearmaster, Tinker. How exactly is she connected to this invasion? And more importantly, where did Lord Bane take her? Oh, there she is in this next cinema.
This wasn't our deal. You said you wanted me to study him, not kill him.
Maximo has outlived his usefulness. Be thankful you are still needed.
Enough of your threats, Lord Buckethead.
Maximo, you're alive!
You again? I have no time for this foolish game. Come, Michael.
Let me go!
Oh, Maximo. Are you familiar with the term fight or flight? Here's your chance to do both.
Maximo, help!
Gotta take this ship down.
Oh great, Maximo's stuck on an airship with ghouls and ghosts and no pilots. What did he do to deserve this? Alright, so long story short, the brave knight kills the monsters on the airship and it crashes into the side of a mountain. The good news is that Grimm is here to bring Maximo back to life and reveal some important information. It seems that there haven't been any new souls in the underworld since those Zin monsters showed up. What's even worse is that these particular souls were supposed to be locked in the Great Vault of Hawkmoor. You know, that thing that we saw in the opening cinema. It's been 500 years, how did they get out? That's the question Maximo hopes to learn as he makes his way towards the mythical Great Vault to investigate. Of course, in order to do that, he's gonna need to travel through the caves, past the statue garden, over the wooden bridge, through the water, and over the mountains. And all that's before the lava pits and crystal caverns. It's here where Maximo discovers yet another damsel in distress. It's Elizabeth, the friendly and beautiful wife of Baron Hawkmoor. You know, the man who left that nasty scar on our hero's face. Who knows, perhaps she'll be able to convince her husband to help Maximo and open that great vault. Unfortunately, the Baron is reluctant. These two foes simply have too much history to deal with, so they do what men in this situation always do. They fight. Obviously, Maximo wins since his name is on the box. But it's not the sword that ultimately makes him change his mind, but rather our hero's plea for the innocent people being killed by the army of Zin. With his wife by his side, Baron Hawkmoor agrees to do the one thing that he vowed to never do.
For 500 years, the world has feared what lies within this vault.
The time for fear is over.
Morgan.
Elizabeth? Elizabeth! Bane! Get your hands off of her!
Come, my Sin. Take your revenge. Tear them to pieces and take their souls. Show no mercy.
So, yeah, it was a trap. Not only are Maximo and Baron Hawkmoor forced to team up to survive the army of Zin, but Elizabeth has been kidnapped by Lord Bane. That means that the amount of women Maximo needs to save has gone from just 1 all the way up to 3. Ugh. With the Baron's wife and Tinker needing our help, you would be forgiven if you completely forgot that Sophia is still out there. Somewhere. Hopefully? Alright, so the unlikely duo eventually finds what was supposed to be the river out of here, but something is terribly wrong. But look, there's no time to worry about that now, because Lord Bane is shelling the nearby town. The two decide to split up, with Baron Hawkmoor going to save his people back in the town, and Maximo pushing on to save Tinker. He can tell that he's close, so he fights past the shore, through the sand, into the damp caves, over the pipes, and through this large metal facility full of gears and mechanisms. Our hero platforms his way through the Soul Crusher, only to run into a familiar face.
Tinker!
Maximo! Lord Bane forced me to finish his dirty work. When I was done, he said he had no further use for me. He said he was going to kill me. Oh, Maximo, I'm sorry for everything I've done.
Look, that's all in the past. If we're gonna get out of here alive, I'm going to need your help. You understand their technology better than anyone.
No, you don't understand. I made them better. Different.
What do you mean? How?
I based them on the ultimate warrior. You!
Oh.
Well, that's not good. It appears the enemies in the final stretch of this game are going to be bigger and stronger, which sounds about right for this kind of thing, right? It's up to Maximo to thoroughly explore the factory and stop production before things get out of hand. He'll do this by jumping through the fire room, fighting in the hallways, balancing on a bunch of gears, and then jumping into this gun turret for total carnage. I love it! He eventually meets up with Tinker at the very top of the facility, where he plans to jump in one of those missiles and then shoot himself right at Lord Bane. Yeah, it's a plan so crazy that it might actually work.
Now that was a ride.
See how well you have guarded the vault? Now it is your fate that is sealed.
Hey, Buckethead! Why you picking on him? I'm the one who wiped out your army and put your soul crusher out of business.
I will so love killing you.
So at last, here we are. Maximo is finally going up against Lord Bane. If our hero loses, then the evil Bane will be able to use his army of Zin to successfully take over the world. Guys, we can't let that happen, so Maximo fights until he has nothing left. And even though Lord Bane is able to duplicate his armor and attack from all sides, the brave knight is once again able to save the day. With a sword in hand, Maximo kills Lord Bane, and this is what happens next.
Achille?
Curse you, Maximo. Once again, you've ruined my plans with your heroic meddling. It's a shame your little friend will pay for your treason with her life.
No!
I thought we whacked this guy already.
Yeah, it's getting hard to keep score.
What do you say we take him out?
Let's do it!
Oh no, they tricked us again. Lord Bane was nothing more than King Achille back from the grave. Man, won't this guy ever die? Maximo and Grim team up to kill this vengeful ghost and restore order to both the human world and the underworld. It's a hard-fought battle that could have gone either way. But Maximo comes through in the end, and this is what happens next. For real this time.
A fitting end for his kind.
Grim, you gotta bring her back.
Her soul is in really bad shape.
Please, Grim, there must be something you can do.
This may sting a bit. A piece of your soul may make hers whole.
What happened?
You're gonna be okay. Everything's all right now.
Hey, buddy. You still have to find Sophia.
And you will need the help of your friends.
Then we'll search for her together.
Okay, I've been thinking about where Sophia might be. We know she's not in the underworld, so what if we go to hell? No, I ain't going to heaven, that's for sure.
And that's how it ends. Not just the game, but all of Maximo's adventure. They may have defeated the army of Zin and King Achilles twice, but it turns out that our hero's greatest foe was Capcom. This was a cliffhanger designed to set up a third and possibly final game, where Maximo would go anywhere and stop at nothing in order to save Sophia. But that never happened. Sophia will remain lost forever. But look on the bright side, kid, because Maximo saved Tinker, Elizabeth, and finally made peace with Baron Hawkmoor. Oh, and don't forget about the 4 members of the Sorceress Council from the first game. I mean, look, for a guy who continues to fail at his missions, Maximo has done a lot of good for a lot of people. He's a true hero. But here's the thing, with no conclusion in sight, this is one of the most bittersweet endings that I've covered on this Game Over series. I love the cinemas and Grimm's personality, but this ending feels incomplete without a third game. And maybe that's just Maximo's curse to bear. He can kill all the ghouls, ghosts, goblins, and mechanical monsters, but he'll never be able to find Sophia. Maybe there's a life lesson that we can take from this incomplete ending. Or maybe it's just bullshit that Capcom didn't finish this trilogy. I'll let you decide. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Game Over, The Next Generation. If you liked what you saw here, then you'll be happy to know that we post new episodes almost every Monday. Now here's the question I have for you. Should Capcom finish the Maximo franchise? Also, do you think our hero would have finally saved Sophia in the third game? I mean, he has to, right? Anyway, let me see your thoughts in the comments below. In other news, we'll be back later this week with reviews of Postal Redux, Airplane Mode, and Hot Shot Racing. We're also going to debut part 1 of a 4-part series called EGM and the Launch Games. Oh man, let me tell you, this thing has quickly spiraled out of control. It's now to the point where the whole thing is threatening to be, and I'm not even kidding, a couple of hours long. Maybe even longer. I can't wait for you to see the first part, which is going to be covering 1989 to 1991 later this week. If that sounds good to you, then I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.